Welcome back to another video for Harbor Financial. Today we're going to talk about extending your tax return and how you can file that extension and if you can qualify for it. So I'm going to get the video going here. Okay. After you file an extension, you have 6 months to file your taxes. Now, this extension is going to go approximately from April 15th to October 15th. These dates will vary a few days based on if a holiday falls on the 15th or a holiday falls on October 15th. They give you the leeway as far as, say that the holiday falls on the 15th and it's a Friday, then you're going to get to Monday, the next business day, to file those taxes or file the extension. So they give you the advantage there. Extensions are automatic unless you have defaulted on your taxes in the past. What I mean by this is once you file, I'm going to show you the short form that you file for the extension. Once you file for that extension, it's guaranteed unless you are default on prior year taxes. So if you owed money from 2 years ago and you haven't paid that bill, then most likely you'll be denied that extension. But normally, for most people, it's going to be an automatic extension. There are no fees for filing an extension. That's kind of a misconception out there. People think that automatically you're going to get penalties, interest. That's not true. How it works is, let's stick with April 15th as the date you file the extension. At April 15th, if you were to owe tax, say $1,000 at April 15th, when you file that extension, you should at least pay that $1,000 at the extension, because the time between the extension and when you file your taxes, say you actually file them in October, each day up until October, interest and penalties will be calculated even though you have an extension. Because the extension is just giving you time to gather your records so you can prepare your taxes. But you should always do a quick calculation even though you're not going to file your taxes, to see if you owe tax, so you can include that with your extension. And that's where the online tax estimator is really going to help you, because if you're doing this extension, you want to see if you owe tax. You can put in your information into this estimator. It's not going to file taxes, nothing. It just gives you a snapshot of how much tax you might owe, which is key when you're filing the extension. You file a 4868 to get the extension, and I'm going to show you this form real quick. There are different forms based on your situation that you would have to file. If you are a citizen living abroad, you'll file form 2350. I'm just going to show you guys the 4868 today, because that's generally what most people are going to use. The 4768 is if you have estate taxes and you want to get an extension on estate taxes. And form 709, that's an extension if you received a gift and you have to pay taxes on it. Okay. So let's go to the 4868 real quick. This is the 4868. When you file, you can file this online, this extension. This is what you're going to use to get that 6-month extension. It's very easy. It's just right here, what you can see. Part 1 and Part 2. It detaches here, you put in the information. This is where I talk about estimating your tax for the year. So you have to put in on, if you think there's going to be a balance due, include a payment in the amount there. Okay. So very easy to fill out. So let's get back to the video. Now, I want to touch on this again because this is something that I may have confused you on. Most people do get confused, so I'm going to explain it again to you guys. If you owe tax and it's April 15th and you file an extension, interest and penalties are going to continue to accrue until you file your taxes. That's if you don't make a payment with that extension. Filing this extension is probably one of the easiest forms you can fill out when it comes to taxes, so don't let it intimidate you whatsoever. You can do it online. This is something you can do by paper too, so it's super, super easy, and you don't need a tax professional to help you with something like this. I always recommend filing the extension if you don't have time to figure out all your tax information the right way, because if you rush your taxes, go and file them, and then say a month later you start receiving more information from banks or whatever that should have been included in your taxes, then you might have put yourself in a position where you're going to get some penalties. So if it's getting close to that deadline, you feel like you're being rushed a little bit, you're not going to be able to put in all your information in your tax return, just file the extension. It's not a big deal. Tons of people do it every year. It's a very common thing to do. So what I want to do now is take you to harborfinancialonline.com and show you guys where you can do that quick estimate. So here's the calculator. Any of these links are going to take you to that refund calculator, and when you're doing the extension, you definitely want to use the calculator to see if you're going to owe tax. Now, another thing too, if say you do the calculator and you figure out you're not going to owe tax and you have a refund coming your way, you don't have to file the extension. You can just wait. You can actually file that return whenever you want because you're owed the money, and there's no reason to file the extension. A lot of people get that confused. So again, say if you have you estimate you have a refund coming your way of $2,000, you're owed $2,000. You don't even have to waste the time with the extension. Just file the return when you're ready. You can file it in November. There's going to be no penalties coming to you if you had if you're going to get a refund if you owe no tax. So that's something to always remember. On the site here, we have articles on other areas of tax that's going to help you guys out if there's credits or deduction questions you have. And then on YouTube, we have a lot of videos on all these informational videos that's going to help you understand tax a little more clear than, you know, what a lot of people, they try to make tax so confusing, and it's really, when you break it down, it's pretty simple. So let's get back to the video real quick. Okay. There's one thing I wanted to touch on again. Now, if you're living abroad, a lot of people are living abroad right now. You're supposed to file as 2350, but you can file the 4868 and be fine. It's not always, it's, you know, technically required, but you can get away with the 4868 if you're living abroad. Just want to make sure I covered everything for you guys. And I think that's good. I think that you guys should be able to get a good understanding of the extension with this video, and feel free to go check out the site, harborfinancialonline.com. You can do the online estimator and figure out if you have to make that payment with your extension. Thank you.